Almost finished. The article on my visit to the ancient city of St Andrews. After arriving by train, I strolled across the glorious links, then spent time with some energetic young ladies of St Andrews playing heaps of tennis. And then followed a quite different experience as I went fishing for herring. The boat I went out on was one of the regular herring boats, big, almost tub-shaped pattern with one huge sail of the regulation dark brown colour. Herring fishing, I may tell you, is not particularly nice nor especially clean, and you have to rough it in ways you have no idea of. Our crew consisted of 6 men, all relatives, which is no odd thing because here the entire fishing population are related. They never marry outsiders, and the result of all the intermarriage is that everybody is either the cousin or the brother of everybody else, and there are only about half a dozen names amongst the lot of them. About half the fishermen are called Brown, and a few wonderful others Wilson. And after that they seem pretty much equally divided amongst 2 or 3 other names. We left the old-fashioned harbour at exactly 1 o'clock and sailed out before a pretty stiff breeze a long way beyond the famous old Bell Rock lighthouse, which rises like a great white monument above the mass of rocks it is perched on. I won't bore you with this long description of how we spread our huge nets. They were floated on the top with corks and sunk to the bottom with stones and leaden weights. Suffice to say that everything was satisfactorily managed, and our shots, that's what they call setting the net, our shots were highly successful. It was most exciting when the nets were pulled in, as in almost every mesh without exception an idiot herring had managed to thrust itself in by the head and get caught. Herring, I think, must be the most stupid of fish. You merely pull your net against a shoal of them, and instead of swimming away, these stupid fish press themselves against it until they succeed in thrusting their heads into the meshes of the net way beyond their gills. And then, when too late, they discover the error of their ways and want to return, they can't do so, and they remain there, firmly fixed, until such times as you care to haul in the net. From the time we pulled up our first net, we were wallowing in fish, wriggling and jumping all over the place. In a short time, the lockers were full of the silver-coated little chaps, and they lay in the bottom of the boat a foot deep. Of course, a natural consequence was that we were absolutely covered in scales, and the result is not nice. As a matter of fact, although I have had a day and night of herring fishing, I cannot recommend that you follow my example, unless you can do it under more pleasant circumstances than I did. It really was rather dreadful, awfully cold and wet and generally unpleasant. In addition to which, although I haven't said anything, I almost died of seasickness. The small boat tossed around dreadfully. Everyone was very kind. The skipper even gave me his cabin to lie down in. It was the only one on the boat. A 4-foot square box, pitch dark, used by generations for the packing of fish and shockingly stuffy. I use the mildest of terms I can think of. As you know, I like to see and do everything, and experiment under all conditions. But I don't mind telling you, in strict confidence, that nothing will induce me to go herring fishing or deep sea fishing again under any circumstances whatsoever.